Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon also. It's my pleasure really to join you in this important conference, annually conference of this important community of tourism around the world. I would like, first of all, also to thank the organizing committee and especially our friends who knows Miriam and also Alzua. Thank you very much for all the email exchanges and so on. And Dimitrios too. Thank you. So my talk will be, of course, related to big data. It was important for us. Yes, it was important really to see what about the big data. Everybody knows and we have always every day information about the big data, different information about metrics, about applications, about really application in terms of industry and so on. But really, what is really the big data? This is the first question I would like really to clearly address, I hope. The second thing is, well, what will be the close and really future in this year? What were the prediction in 16 and maybe beyond till, for example, 18 or maybe more? It is maybe early to respond to these questions, but we will try to see some prediction on this. So allow me first to talk about four main really points. The digitalization is changing the behavior. You know that, really. The big data world, what is that? What is related to? The benefits of big data, and finally the perspective and the future development. It's really an attempt, really it's a hard really exercise to do, but we have to do it really to explain. So let me first start with the digitalization, which is changing our world of the ICT business, the ICT world, and the really environment. Let me say, does it work? No, I will use that. Probably all of us really, some of them were not maybe using the mainframe, the small and very really simple terminal. It was really the history. But after that, we moved to around 5, 10, to more sophisticated really equipment, devices, and software. It was the LAN, the internet accesses, and the server, and so on. But really things really started to be more important, more really shifting, really. It's around 2005 with the emergence of 3G. And we have seen really mobile devices application more and more, really. And then now, starting 10, we started to see mobile broadband, FTTH, FTTX, and so on, which allows really very quick and faster connections from home, from business, and so on, to the different servers, to different really websites, and so on. Then the social business with the social networking and all the information we track from, and also to the cloud services. It was a story first and really a buzz. Now it's reality, really, with a lot of data center around, secure data center around the world and so on. And finally, all that really allows us really to track a lot of information. What we have seen here, big data and analytics. These are the four really categories of business, or the main drivers for the digitalization. But also we started to see a very dedicated solution to intelligent really industry solution, especially for the travel industry, for example, but also for the healthcare, for transportation, for government institution, and so on. This is also, in terms of big data, we start really to see many really emerging solutions, dedicated solutions, and so on. So with big data here, as you can see, it's really in the right place. It's very important, really, area of activities and of importance, strategic importance. So, what is big data? I'm sure every one of us will provide and will say his or her definition. Why not? But now what I would like really to highlight would be a shared and common really definition. The data itself, the big data characterizes two aspects. The first, the data itself with particular feature, and really, which is really a structured system. So we can also talk about the 4 V's of big data. The first is volume. That means a huge volume in terms of data generated or usually produced in large amount, of course. If we see, for example, the PNR information, you have a lot of information today with of course, the price, the category, the flight, the time, how many changes have been introduced, and the loyalty program, and more, maybe, sometimes. So, and other really information are really provided from the tourism and travel industry. Velocity, they are generated as fast pace, really, it's online, continuous really online information. For example, for the yield management, it's a really continuous flow of information we really store in data centers and so on. The variety generated data are usually of different format of type, different really size, different really from text, video, picture, sound, website, and so on. So all these information are huge, and they are not really well structured. So we have to work out them. Final V is the veracity. That means the data should be really make sense, really. Not only about where is the information. No, metadata, for example, help us, of course, but the main information is in the data, for example, about which website has been visited and so on. The second point we can really address here, the big data, is the methods also and techniques used to handle all these huge amount of information. So you remember probably some of these methodologies or techniques, like, for example, Hadoop, which is very popular, really, and widely really used in all the industry, and especially also in Amadeus and in the tourism industry. Of course, you know this, but it is good really to measure some sources of information. We track a lot of various kind of data sources. And, travelers leave different digital traces behind their visit to website, to discussion with online, with their web chat, with their feedback, customer experience, and so on. So, before and during, after really the experience, they leave a lot of information. So the main sources are, as you know, really is first really let me say, start with the data every day from different sources. It could be social networks, emails, picture exchanged, feedback, and so on. Second, really, it's about the data from the tweets, for example, and other social networks. And RFID also, when you go, for example, to any shopping or shopping center and so on, you will leave a lot of information about your visit. And then this information will track it. And we can see, especially with the geolocalization and so on. Third, another source of information, of course, is the mobile devices, tablets, smartphones are very, very important source of huge data to be gathered and so on. Of course, GPS, last, but it is also important you leave information where to go, when, frequency, and so on. Of course, the website, the different really visit and experience on the website, and so on. And finally, the smart meters, the M2M, really machines and so on, which provide really many information about your experience and so on. Some really metrics about really huge metrics and some incredible really metrics. We started with megabit and so on, and today we are with zetabit, which is really, I have put for your review and for information, the table of really correspondence here. So much of all data arises by product and interaction with when you visit, for example, website and so on. And also more and more by really native, more innovation is data native, designed intentionally to track information, to learn more about our behavior on tourism, really visit and so on, our booking, our experience and so on. For example, IBM for the overall industry, not only for the tourism industry, has stated that in 12 there were 2.5 exhibits and of generated data every day. And about 75% of them were coming from unstructured text, voice, and video. We will see what that's the meaning of the different unstructured data. EMC, which was bought by Dell company, estimates that in 2013 there were 4.4 zetabit of data in digital universe. So really, how can we gather? How can we track the right information, the good information to work and to enhance our business processes and so on? That is really important really issue and challenge. IDC claims that the world data double every year. That is to be checked and so on. So my perspective is I just would like to stress that really due to this huge amount of information, the right and the adequate solution should be really found and applied. Otherwise, we cannot really use, we will see some applications and so on. What about the big data world? Of course, the big data is really embracing many areas. First of all, in terms of, let me start with the infrastructure. High computing power. We need high computing power. Secured data center to host and to store the data. Otherwise, we really can have some limitation of this. We also need really very improved servers in terms of capacity, but also in terms of online, and secured places and so on. This is some example of really what infrastructure encompasses. The second important thing is software. We have also data management. You know we need a powerful software to handle the huge amount of data. Why? We have also data for data management, for process tools, to also to use the natural language. We are using more and more this, to the machine learning. We started also to have already this application. We have also to take account of the linear scalability and commodity hardware. The software is really very important. Without it, we cannot really make any progress, any improvement for big data. We have also services, skills and training services, and really is very important. The market of service of skills, especially, for example, for the data scientists, but for the data managers, is very important here. We need also consulting to help the businesses, also the ICT provider, to go to the right direction and to use the right tools and so on before starting and running any project. We need also process management, also really are time consuming and also really resources. So you can see here the big data really work. The issue is here, would you be kind enough to tell me 10 minutes before? Yeah. Then I can really speed up if necessary. So the issue is probably here, 80% of the data tracked from all the devices, all the universe, are really were not organized. We have really to organize them and to put them in the right format, in the right system and so on. So a new generation of distributed processing tools and intelligent software can handle the data issues. I told you about Hadoop, but it could be another one also. Of course, Hadoop. So we start here with we generally start with unstructured data from everywhere. 80 to 85% of them are unstructured. Then, because we have multiple formats, from email, from video, from data, from pictures and so on. And the data are very scattered everywhere in terms of geography, in terms of also organization, in marketing, in human resources, in really operation and so on. And also the issue also we meet regularly is incomplete data. The data are not really always really complete. We cannot use them as it is. We have to prepare the system. All that's really, some tools really like Hadoop, but not to them really, will help them, us really, and the companies to structure the data. Then we can start the work. Before, no, we cannot do anything. CMOs and CIOs are embracing and incorporating the big data usage in their business processes. It is important to know where the company is, where the business is really, or standing really. Is it really they are in developed stage or early stage? So, sorry, it is a survey made only in France in 2015, but related to really inquiry in 2014. Marcus survey has really asked the around how many 220 decision makers, of which 31 CMOs and CIOs. And I asked really, we can track that 19% of CMOs and CIOs said they already managed big data project, versus only 11% overall decision makers. That means more than, for example, than human resources, operation, and so on. So the marketing and the information system is the main and the leading really users and involved in big data first. And I guess, I'm sure, that that's a percentage or higher today. Second thing, 52% of CMOs and CEOs are thinking of big data projects. They think that they will move forward to new projects and to include the big data projects in their business and processes. So which is versus only 37% for the overall. So that means really the marketing really and the information system really making this decision makers are ready to follow yeah, good. What are the benefits of big data for customer processes? First, really customer, 31%. It is the same? Yes, it's the same. No, it's another survey made by Marcus. The first driver is customer experience personalization. The first and the top really driver is for businesses to track information and for customer experience. What about the customer experience? Second point is have the tailored analytic tools to managing the data. What really are the tools I have and I can use to improve the data and so on. Third, 26% is about track predictive information. Pre-targeting versus retargeting. So this is a third really need and top priorities of CIOs. Also, the fourth one is manage the risk. For example, the churn, retention, and so on. The fifth one is optimize the marketing products. How can I improve the marketing? Should I really improve this product or really launch another product and so on? And of course, the sixth one, but we have other really track real-time analysis from all the data. Now, what about the, let me say, future? You can see here the IDC industry future scape. Here we have really different, what are the different activities that will evolve and be increasing in the next 2 years. You can see that here, data pipelines, number 5, is one of the top 10 priorities for 2016. So, but before we have the CEO-led digital transformation, then we have second, it's really the third platform we have seen in the first slide. Third is the cloud core, and the fourth is innovation capacity, and then data. Data is very important here for the decision makers here. So you can see here really the prediction of IDC for 16 is really data pipeline in and out. By 18, enterprises with digital strategies will expand external data sources by at least 3 to 5-fold. And delivery of data to market by 100-fold or more. So that means really we will be expecting exciting really market, big data and so on. Applying big data to business processes is key, of course. So this is OVM prediction. By end of 17, more than 75% of ICT providers have identified applying big data to business processes. That means really slowly, we are really introducing big data in the business, into the enterprise processes. During this time, it's okay, 16% of their total ICT spend will be dedicated for the big data for business, across the business. Now, what about the big data market in the next few years? This is also, it's about France. If you see here, we will see huge and really increasing average growth rate. 26% of the services of the big data market will see from 13 to 18. The most important is probably infrastructure services. I mean, infrastructure revenue. They will increase in average 44%. Then by services and then software. So that means really this market is really like the cloud market, security and so on, is really dedicated to see an important increase for this. But the metrics should be not the same that close in other countries. 10 minutes, 5 minutes? 5. Oh, I will skip this, but I will go directly to, yes, just to this. How big data will impact, because the previous two slides are more detailed than one. The big data will impact tourism industry. So first, it can deliver better and richer business insights for the business, for the ICT providers, how to improve the business, how to improve the, thanks to the big data and application, will help for innovation for tourism organization, thanks to new products and services. We can really target the new services, improve them, and dedicate. Will bring better customer relationship. That means really improve the customer experience in traveling, in hotels, in rental car, and so on. Can enable the use of information and insight to build connection with individual travelers, to personalize the relationship with the customers, not only to really standard communication. Will enable also to offer travelers the right and expected services at the right time. I need that service. Is there? Is it ready? Is it available? For where? At what cost? At what price? And so on. And then I can see the competition and so on. Will help addressing increasing and various needs in order to still be relevant for travelers. So this is also another key. Will allow tourism organization to react instantly thanks to predictive, starting the analytic to predictive. Then we can predict the reaction of the customer in terms of really pricing, in terms of willingness to pay that or that service and so on. Can continuously improve the customer experience, I told it. Will enable better decision support, already based on the data, the analytics of data about the customer expectation. Should we change? Should we improve? Should we really move? And so on. Will enable better decision support, okay? Will also allow cheaper and faster data processing. So really, all these really enablers will really give the tourism and travel industry really the possibility and the enable to improve the customer experience, to reduce the cost, to improve the quality of service, to also enhance and improve the security of data, which is probably one of the most important really issue we are seeing not only in tourism but in other really industry and so on. So this is the summary.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's have some questions from Mohsen. Any questions? Lorenzo? Down here, Lorenzo.
So thank you for your presentation. My question is, in your last slide about big data in tourism, thank you. Everything is either can or will.
Yeah.
Is there anything which is ease?
Oh, some absolutely. Some of all these really possibility are still existing, but we can improve them. Or that means we have the basis. We are moving. We started. That means really we have the tools, we have the data, but we still have some issues. And we think that new softwares is still in the testing stage and so on. And we will address in 1 year, in 2 years, for example, some issues. That is the difference in my mind.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay.
Yes?
Thank you. Juho Pesonen from University of Eastern Finland. There is one thing missing from this list that I think is quite important. That's the sustainable tourism. How tourism is impacting society's environment, its economic impact, and what kind of role has big data concerning that? That can we alleviate, for example, the environmental effects of tourism through the use of big data?
Sorry, I'm not sure to have really catch it all.
Okay, so as we travel,
Yeah.
we use resources,
Yeah.
we create CO2 and such.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is one of the venues where big data could be utilized in tourism industry to alleviate all these environmental and social problems that tourism has?
I think in the experience, the customer experience, effectively you leave a lot of information, even you don't like it really. All this information or really use it for the business processes and to improve, to learn more, and to improve the organization, to reduce the price, and so on. But also, this information or use it as a predictive prospect. That means we can, we can use them to anticipate really your requests, your reaction, your next reaction. We can know, for example, that what will be the kind of services you ask, for example, for hotel, for airline, for services, and so on. So this is one of the possibility we can use, and we cross the data sets not only track it from you, from the customer, but we also add, we enrich the data, the tracked data by external data about the revenue, because when you visit any website, you will not say what is your job, how many people, how many children you have, etc. They can cross this information you left with external information for any country, for any category or segment of customer you are. Did I really? Is it? Okay.
Let me keep the last question for myself.
Please.
There's a lot of information that's coming from mobile operators.
Absolutely.
There's lots of information that's coming from banks that we heard earlier from our colleague from the bank here. There's a lot of data that is emerging. And in one of your slides, if you allow me, I'll go like this. You had customer intimacy as the last kind of level of development. Who do you think is going to integrate all this information? Because what's happening now is the big data and the information is held in silos. You're holding your information, banks are holding other information, airlines, hotels are holding other information. How do you think that we are going to integrate all this information to create smartness and a coherent way of creating experience and touch opportunities for the customers? Is there any integrator of data that's emerging in the marketplace?
Of course, from the mobile, we are tracking, especially for 4G, for example, because it's richer information about the location, the geolocation, the time, exactly how many times so it's richer. And we are going to the 5th generation, which is 10 times really higher in terms of capacity and richer with the new services and so on. So, of course, we track a lot of information about the customer, not only for when he really or she really make any reservation, but also we can see where he was really, in terms of traveling first, in terms of services visited here. Is it really student? Student will not really go to some services. When you are businessman or woman, really, you will use dedicated really website and so on. So you track information. All this information will help really the provider to try to qualify your way and who you are and what you should expect from it.
Do you see, how fast do you see M-banking, mobile banking?
Yeah.
In which case, then, if you aggregate mobile transaction, banking information with mobile information,
Yeah.
then it's incredibly powerful.
Mobile banking is a little bit really tricky, and we have some issues because generally people don't like to, really, they prefer to use more really the laptop or really other tools than really except if your system is really well protected. It's first of all about really the number of your account. Many people, other really hackers can really easily really access to your account. So there is a treat here. So the mobile banking is really increasing slowly compared to other services like the tourism and so on. But I think we are going to more secured system on mobile. Then I think customer will be quite ready to use them.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Let me give you a little present on behalf of IFITT.
Thank you, sir.